Welcome back to the False Prophet channel, and this is Brother Jacob, and this is the False Prophet channel where we get Islam destroyed and the false prophet of Islam, Muhammad, destroyed on a regular basis. In tonight's video, depending on what time you will be viewing this, we will once again be destroying the filthy, demonic, satanic cult of Islam, along with its filthy, satanic, demonic, child molesting, false prophet by the name of Muhammad. And yes, everyone, once again, Muhammad made a terrible mistake in his hadiths. And we're going to show you a huge dilemma that the following hadith places the Muslims in. And we're going to show you a very, very huge contradiction that it creates. So everyone pay attention, and without further ado, let's read. And it says, narrated by Umar bin al-Khattab, I heard Hisham bin Hakim bin Hizam reciting Surah Al-Furqan in a different way to that of mine. Allah's messenger had taught it to me in a different way. So I was about to quarrel with him during the prayer, but I waited till he finished. Then I tied his garment round his neck and seized him by it and brought him to Allah's messenger and said, I have heard him reciting Surah Al-Furqan in a different way to the way you taught it to me. The Prophet ordered me to release him and asked Hisham to recite it. When he recited it, Allah's apostle said, it was revealed in this way. He then asked me to recite it. When I recited it, he said, it was revealed in this way. The Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways. So recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now, I want everyone to pay attention to the last phrase in the last sentence. We're about to highlight it. This is the part I want you to pay attention to. So recite it in the way that it is easier for you. Now let's break down this particular hadith, and we're going to show you why Muhammad is a big we're going to show you why Muhammad is a big time liar. Okay? So basically in this hadith, there were 2 men. Okay? One of the men, he heard Muhammad recite a particular verse, Surah Al-Furqan, in a certain way. Then there was another man who recited it differently. So the man who recited the verse in the way he said Muhammad taught it to him, he got upset with the guy who didn't recite it the correct way. So let me show you. You see where it says, and it reads, I heard Hisham bin Hakim bin Hazim reciting Surah Al-Furqan in a different way to that of mine. So as you see, he heard the other guy reciting that Surah Al-Furqan in a different way than Muhammad taught him. In a different way to that of mine. Allah's messenger had taught it to me in a different way. So I was about to quarrel with him during the prayer. But I waited till he finished. Then I tied his garment round his neck and seized him by it and brought him to Allah's messenger and said, I have heard him reciting Surah Al-Furqan in a different way to the way you taught it to me. Okay, so Muhammad, he orders the man to release the guy who was reciting it differently than the guy who says he was reciting it correctly. But Muhammad ordered the man who had seized the man who was reciting it incorrectly, he ordered that the man be released. Okay. The Prophet then, Muhammad, he asked Hisham to recite it. So Hisham recited Surat al-Furqan, and then Muhammad said, it was revealed to me in this way. Then he asked the guy who was reciting it correctly the first time, according to his narrative of the story. And then Muhammad told him that it was revealed in that way. And then Muhammad went on and said that the Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways. So recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now we're about to get Muhammad busted. Now, to all of the Muslims listening and Christians, I want you to listen up. We're about to get Muhammad busted. Okay, clearly in this hadith, Muhammad, he taught the man reporting this hadith how to say the Quran in a certain way. This particular Surat al-Furqan, Muhammad taught him to say it in a certain way, which is the correct way, as Muhammad verified. But Muhammad, when he asked the other guy to recite the same Surat al-Furqan, he told the other guy that it was also correct. Now, this gets Muhammad busted because clearly something is not right. Because when you analyze this hadith, notice that when the man who got upset with Hisham, who got upset with this guy, Hisham bin Hakim bin Hizam, noticed this guy, once he was seized, he didn't tell the guy who seized him that Muhammad taught me the Surat al-Furqan this way. He didn't make no argument. He didn't make no case for himself. He did none of that. So basically, he was seized, and basically he was like, you know what? I'm guilty. I'm going to just deal with the repercussions, be it as it may. I'm busted. I was saying it wrong. Just take me to the Prophet and see whatever he does. Now, they get to Muhammad. Muhammad tell both of them to recite it. The guy who sees the guy, he recites it. Muhammad says that's the right way. Hisham recites it. Muhammad says that's the correct way. Now, what am I getting at? The point that I'm making is Muhammad forgot. He clearly forgot what he said from one day to the next. Muhammad was making things up. He said that the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways. Okay, so if that's the case, then why did it take an incident of someone having to seize someone for allegedly misquoting the Quran? Why would it take someone seizing someone for Muhammad to reveal that the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways? Does everybody follow what I'm saying? Why didn't the Muslim who seized Hisham, why didn't he know before taking Hisham to Muhammad that this verse had been revealed 7 different ways? Because it clearly says that Muhammad taught him how to say it the correct way. So why didn't Muhammad, if he had taught him how to say it correctly, then why didn't Muhammad tell him about the other 6 versions of Surat al-Furqan? This is fishy. Why did it take a violent episode of one Muslim seizing another Muslim to be brought to Muhammad for misquoting Surat al-Furqan? Now, what this shows is, it shows 2 things. Number 1, Muhammad, he lied. Number 2, if a Muslim want to say, oh, Muhammad didn't lie, then I would ask the Muslim, then why did it take a violent episode for Muhammad to finally reveal that the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways? That doesn't make sense. And number 2, the next problem that it highlights is that Muhammad, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it was revealed in 7 different ways. Then this incident is a clear case of failed leadership on the behalf of Muhammad. Because had Muhammad revealed beforehand that the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways, he could have, just by revealing the truth beforehand, he could have avoided this fighting between the Muslims. Now, another thing I would like to highlight, why is it that neither one of these Muslims, none of them knew about Muhammad being revealed the Quran 7 different ways? Doesn't that make you scratch your head? This proves that Muhammad was lying. He was making it up. He didn't know what he was saying. Now, if Muhammad was telling the truth, and if the Quran was really revealed in 7 different ways, then how could both of them be correct without Muhammad telling either one of them? For instance, the guy who was seized, if he was saying the Quran in a correct way, then how could he say it? How could he be saying it in the correct way if Muhammad never revealed yet that the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways? How would this man know to be reciting the Quran correctly in one of the 7 different ways before Muhammad tells him that the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways? Now the Muslims are in a dilemma, but we just getting warmed up. I'm telling you, this is going to get real heavy. Now, since Muslims say that Muhammad is the final messenger, then how is it that Hisham could be reciting something that the other Muslim never heard? He never heard this. That's the reason why he grabbed the dude and took him to Muhammad, because he never heard this recitation that Hisham was reciting. He never heard it before. So this means either Muhammad isn't the last messenger, or this Hisham bin Hakim guy is the final messenger. Because obviously he is quoting the Quran in a way that this other Muslim had never heard before. He never heard it before. And Muhammad validated that this guy was saying it correct. But Muhammad is just telling them that the Quran was revealed in 7 different ways. So if that's the case, how could this guy his Sham, how could he be reciting it before Muhammad even reveals to them that it had been revealed in 7 different ways? I hope everyone follow what I'm saying, because this is Brother Jacob, and y'all know how I get down. I get very deep and complex in breaking down the lies of these Muslims. Does everybody follow what I'm saying? I'm going to run it back one more time. Muhammad didn't reveal that the Quran, let me highlight it again. This is what Muhammad said. It was revealed in this way. Let's read that. Let's read it again, because we're not going to leave the Muslims with no excuses. Let's read this. Let's highlight it. I have heard him reciting Surat al-Furqan in a way different to the way you taught it to me. The Prophet ordered me to release him and asked Hisham to recite it. When he recited it, Allah's apostle said, it was revealed in this way. Now, does everybody see? Okay, let me finish. He then asked me to recite it. When I recited it, he said, it was revealed in this way. The Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways. So recite it in the way that is easier for you. This gets them busted big time. And notice that when Muhammad asked the first guy to recite it, when he told him that you taught it to me this way, notice Muhammad didn't contest what the guy said. He didn't say, no, I didn't teach it to you this way. His actions prove that he confirmed the statement of the Muslim who told Muhammad, you taught it to me this way. So Muhammad, through his actions, agreed that he did indeed teach the Muslim the way that he said. And then once he asked Hisham to recite it, guess what he does? He says, that's the right way as well. It was revealed in this way. But that's the problem. It says right here, once Hisham recited it, Muhammad said it was revealed in this way. No, you got to keep in your mind. I want you to use your imagination. Imagine Muhammad is standing. It's 2 Muslims before him. One Muslim recites it, the one who was accused of misquoting it. Now imagine you seeing this take place. The guy who brought the guy to Muhammad for misquoting the verse, and the guy who said he was quoting it the way Muhammad taught him. Now imagine the guy who was accused of misquoting it. Imagine Muhammad asking him to recite it like he did, like we just read. The guy recites it. The guy who accused him for misquoting Surah al-Furqan, he's standing there listening to this guy recite it to Muhammad, and Muhammad says to him, it was revealed in this way. Put yourself in the mind of the guy who says that Muhammad taught him the correct way. Imagine the expression on his face. He would have had to been baffled, like, hold up. He had to have been scratching his head like, hold up, Muhammad, you adding to the, I mean, how can you say this is the right way when you didn't teach it to me like this? How can you say it was revealed in this way, Muhammad? This is what the guy had to have been thinking. For Muhammad to come out of the blue and say, it was revealed in this way. That had to have been mind-blowing for that Muslim. Okay? It had to have been because he never heard the Surat al-Furqan in the way that Hisham said it. So Muhammad said, hey, this incorrect way, I know I taught it to you this way, but the incorrect way that this guy is reciting it, that you brought him to me about, it's the right way. That in itself could have been a reason, should have been a reason that the other guy should have left Islam. Because Muhammad never told him that way. But Muhammad said it was revealed in this way. Crazy, right? Now, this is the problem. The problem is, listen up, Muslims. How would this Hisham guy know to be reciting a Quran verse different than the guy who said Muhammad taught him a certain kind of way? That means he knew beforehand a passage of the Quran that was revealed to Muhammad before Muhammad even said it was revealed to him 7 different ways. Woo! This gets them busted. How would he even know it? That's like me. Let's now use your imagination again. That's like me standing in front of Muhammad and quoting the Al-Fatiha and messing words up and omitting words. And then Muhammad says, I said it the correct way. And then after that, he tells us that, oh, and by the way, Allah revealed it to me in the way that Brother Jacob just said it. Do everybody get what I'm saying? But the Muslims would tell us that Muhammad was the final messenger. Well, if he was the final messenger, then who told this guy, Hisham, one of the 7 ways that the Quran was revealed, even before Muhammad spilled the beans when he said, let me highlight it. How would he know that it was correct even before Muhammad said this right here? It was revealed in this way. The Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways, so recite it in the way that is easier for you. You see, does everyone see what Brother Jacob is saying? How would Hisham know about one of the ways it was revealed? And how is it that the other Muslim who was also taught by Muhammad, how is it that he didn't know about the version that Hisham was quoting? This is strange, right? But it's only going to get worse. And by the way, if it was revealed in 7 different ways, then these what we just showed you was examples of only 2 out of the 7 different ways. So where are the other 5 ways that it was revealed? This proves that Muhammad was just making things up, because had a third person been with them who had said it differently, Muhammad would have told him to recite it and would have said, oh, you said it right too. See, Muhammad got caught up. He got caught out there and he shot himself in the foot. And his followers, they called him out on it. Muhammad got in a situation he didn't know what to do. He forgot what he said. So when he asked the guy to recite the verse, the guy who brought Hisham to him, he said that's the right way. When the other guy recited it, he said that's the right way as well, because he had forgot what he said. So in order to save his face and to make it seem like he was being a righteous judge, because he had forgot the verse that he said in the first place, he went ahead and said, both of you are right. That was his easy way out. He went ahead and said, both of you are right. Both of you are reciting it right. And guess what else? The Quran was revealed to me in 7 different ways. A cop-out. A cop-out and an excuse. That's all it was. Now, let's get to the good part. It says right here, he says, the Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways. So recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now here goes a huge problem. Okay? Now, he said, recite it in the way that is easier for you. Okay? Now, number one, he said it was revealed in 7 different ways. He said recite it in the way that is easier for you. But so far, we have seen that it's only 2 ways that he has validated as 2 of the 7. Where are the other 5 ways? Because this hadith is only showing us 2 out of the 7. But he is saying the Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways. So recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now, this creates a huge problem. The wording of his command, recite it in the way that is easier for you, it opens up a Pandora's box that creates all types of problems for the Abduls. And this is why. In Islam, it is haram to drink alcohol. It is haram. But clearly Muhammad said, recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now take note. He didn't say recite one of the 7 ways that the Quran was revealed to you and choose which one of the 7 recitations are easier for you to recite. He didn't say that. He said, so recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now, when he said recite it in the way that is easier for you, he's talking about the Quran. He's talking about the Quran. He said recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now, he said this because, number one, he was just making things up. He wasn't thinking when he was speaking, like a lot of these Abduls do who show up in my comment section and they try to refute me. They don't think before they type. They don't think about what they are saying and they shoot themselves in the foot, just like Muhammad did when he said, so recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now, we already stated how in Islam, drunkenness, getting drunk, drinking alcohol is considered haram. But Muhammad gave them the green light to do a lot of different things when he said, recite it in the way that is easier for you. Now, let's show you a list of things that a Muslim can say to which can allow them to be drunk, according to what Muhammad just said. Now, he said recite it in a way that's easier for you. So what if it's easier for a certain Muslim to recite the Quran while drunk, while in a drunken state? Then another Muslim can't say, oh, you are drunk. They can't say that because Muhammad just said recite it in a way that is easier for you. Now, for some people, like for instance, some musicians, they'll tell you that before they go on stage, they like to get drunk and they like to get high. In other words, they have to be inebriated in order for them to perform at their highest. So what if a Muslim recites things easier when he is drunk? Well, Muhammad gave him the green light because Muhammad said, recite it in the way that is easier for you. So a Muslim can't say drinking is haram because Muhammad just said, recite it in the way that is easier for you. So what if drinking while reciting makes it easier for me? Then what? What can you say? You can't say anything. This is just another example of the poor leadership quality of Muhammad. See, you're not going to find in the Bible a command given where God will say, well, follow this 10 commandment if it's easier for you, or follow this one if it's easier for you. Like, what prophet? No prophet does that. That's not how a leader does. Rules are made to be black and white, not vague. Muhammad gave a vague order, a vague command. Basically, he left it up to the Muslim, and he shot himself in the foot because he can't go back on his word. He can't do double speech. So when he said, and we're going to show you an example of how he ended up doing double speech. And we're going to show you, but let me give you an example. Since Muhammad said, recite it in the way that is easier for you, he can't come back and say, recite it this way, because he already said, recite it in a way that is easier for you. Now let's show you the example of double speech, how this command, this vague command that Muhammad gave, we're going to show you how it gets him busted later on. Let's show you. Let's read the following hadith. It was narrated that Hudhayfa bin Yaman said, the messenger of Allah said, I do not know how long I will stay among you. So follow the example of these two after I am gone. And he pointed to Abu Bakr and Umar. These are the two caliphs, two of the earlier caliphs of Islam, Abu Bakr and Umar. Notice what Muhammad said. He said, I do not know how long I will stay among you. So follow the example of these two after I am gone. And he pointed to Abu Bakr and Umar. But hold up, Abdul, hold up. In the other hadith, he said, recite the Quran in a way that is easier for you. But in this hadith, he said that when he is gone, to follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar. That's a contradiction. Why? Because if you are to follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar, then that means you have to follow their example of how to recite Surat al-Furqan. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me to recite it in the way that is easier for me, and then on the other hand, tell me to follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar. Does everybody understand? And thank you, Spirit. Something else just dropped into my spirit. Muslims tell us that Muhammad is the best example of mankind. But once he told the Muslims to recite it in the best way that is easier for them, then guess what? They are no longer reciting it in the example of Muhammad. Does everybody understand? Because Muhammad may recite Surat Al-Furqan in a certain way. That may not be the easier way for the Muslim to do it. So that means Muhammad gave them the green light to not follow his example. Does everybody understand? I told you, these are very complex situations that Muhammad created for himself. And he the one to blame for the dilemma, because he is the one who gave the vague command. But Muslims would tell us that Muhammad is the best example, follow everything. But hold up, if Muhammad recited it in a certain way, now again, use your imagination. Imagine Muhammad standing before you. If you were Muslim, Muhammad is your best example, right? He's reciting the Quran a certain kind of way, but he told you to recite it in a way that's easier for you. So what do you do? Do you follow the example of Muhammad, or do you recite it in a way that's easier for you? Which one do you do? So how can you say Muhammad is the best example, but at the same time, he told you to recite the Quran in a way that's easier for you, not following his example, but doing it your own way. You're not following him. You're doing it your own way. That's easier for you. And here's another thing I want to point out. Let's go back to here's another thing I would like to point out. Muhammad, he lied when he said the Quran had been revealed to him in 7 different ways. He lied because, and by the way, we do have a live stream coming up. We're going to break down the cave of Hira. We're going to thoroughly break down the hadith dealing with Muhammad's alleged visitation by the angel Jibril in the cave of Hira. And we're going to really go in depth into that hadith, and we're going to break it down and examine it, and we're going to show and prove why the Muslims have a lot of unanswered questions that they must answer. And we're going to really get them busted once we do that live stream. I'm thinking about doing it tomorrow. If I do, I will let you know. But Muhammad lied when he said, and we're about to wrap this up. Muhammad lied when he said the Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways. He lied because when you go to that hadith, well, let me go to it real quick. I don't want to spoil anything from the live stream, but I got to make this point. We'll go to narrated Aisha. The commencement of the divine inspiration to Allah's messenger was in the form of true dreams. The angel came to him and said, "Read in the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists, has created man a clot. Read, and your Lord is most generous." Now, as you see, Muhammad said that the Quran was revealed to him in 7 different ways. But in this hadith, do you see Jibril, who the Muslims claim it was, who we're going to show that it wasn't Jibril, and nowhere in the hadith of the initial meeting of this demon to Muhammad in the cave of Hira, nowhere does it say Jibril, but we're going to go through that when we do the live stream. But in this highlighted portion, do you see anything about this particular verse being revealed 7 different ways? No, you don't. It's only one way. It's no 7 different ways. So Muhammad lied. He lied. He was just making things up. He had to say something, and he got himself busted. And we showed you how it doesn't make sense, because we showed you how it contradicts this particular hadith. We're gonna leave you with this. As you see, it contradicts. We're going to leave you with this final point. It contradicts this hadith when he said, follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar. So that gets him busted. It shows that he was just saying things. You know, he's telling you to go by your own example, recite something that's in the way that's easier for you. And then at the same time, he's telling you to follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar. How can you follow? And then that's confusion within itself, because Abu Bakr and Umar, what if they wanted to recite the Quran in different ways? So which one of them do you follow? And at the same time, he told you to recite it in a way that's easier for you, while at the same time saying, follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar. That leaves you in a confused state. And we know that the Bible say that God is not the author of confusion. Satan is a liar. He is the father of lies, and he is the author of confusion. And as you see, Muhammad was speaking lies. He was creating confusion. He caused a squabble between the Muslims. He should have told them in advance that this Quran had been revealed in 7 different ways. It took a fight between 2 of his followers for him to say it was revealed in 7 different ways. We pointed out how one of the men knew one of the ways to recite Surat Al-Furqan before Muhammad even showed him, before Muhammad even said it was revealed in 7 different ways, which proves that Muhammad isn't the final messenger if you have another Muslim also reciting Quran verses that another Muslim never heard before. And then Muhammad said it was right. So that means Muhammad was not the first one to reveal the other version of Surat Al-Furqan to the Muslim who seized Hisham and brought him to Muhammad. Muhammad wasn't the one who revealed how that verse, the other way to quote that verse. So that means that follower of Muhammad, he didn't get that revelation. He didn't get that other version of that verse from Muhammad. Muhammad only said he said it the right way. But Muhammad wasn't the first one to recite it to that Muslim. So that proves that Muhammad isn't the final messenger. He's a false prophet. He confused his followers. He made huge contradictions. And overall, he is just a child of Satan, like we have told you numerous times in every video that we do. And with that, this is Brother Jacob, and this is the False Prophet channel, where we get Islam destroyed and the false prophet of Islam destroyed on a regular basis. Like, share, and subscribe. And this is Brother Jacob signing out.